us all together. Lord, we gather in your name as children of a sovereign God. Forever we proclaim, to God be all glory.
Good morning. How you doing? It is Friday, October 31st, 2025. Welcome to episode 489 of Thinking Theologian as we continue our journey through the scriptures. And happy Reformation Day is one of the Reformation month for me. One of the greatest times of the year. But today's Reformation Day, when everything kind of got started and the church was reformed back to the original purpose of what it was intended to be. So anyway, so that's a little dive in today. This is one of my favorite holidays of the year. And I do celebrate it all month long. And so today we read Luke chapter 19 through 20. The title of today is How Do You Treat Sinners in Your Life? The focal scripture is in Luke 19 verse 5. And this is what it says, is when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, because today it is necessary for me to stay at your house. So do you have a welcoming attitude? This is especially true of those who are unbelievers. Why? Because for them to be able to hear the truth of the gospel, a relationship has to be formed. Your attitude has to be welcoming no matter how they sin or what their sin entails. And yes, there is no exception to that. Is this difficult? Absolutely. However, sinners must be treated with respect so they can be shown the error of their ways. It's hard to have a gospel conversation with somebody if all you're doing is belittling them, berating them, making them feel like a piece of dirt. Most people already struggle with that in their life as it is, and we need to be able to have the relationship there to build, and this is what we're about to see take place. So in today's reading, Zacchaeus wants to meet the Lord. In his eagerness to see him, he climbs up a tree to get a better look. And as Jesus passes by, he calls up to him and lets him know he'll be having dinner at his house tonight. Now, when this happens, the religious people get upset and question his intentions of dining with the sinner. Jesus lets them know his mission is to save sinners. To do this, he must spend time with sinners. He must get to know them on a personal level. And so notice that Jesus never allows people to sit in their sin. He confronts their sin and what they do and what they're doing, but he never treats them as they're less. He's actually more difficult on the religious people because the religious people miss where they came from and the redemption they've received. And there's got to be a point where someone had a conversation and someone has done that. And I think in today's setting, we do the same thing. We forget what it's like to be a sinner, and we become so closed off that we can't deal with sinners and talk with sinners. And I'm going to address that here in a second, how that should look. And there's ways to do it and ways not to do it. Now, the same is true for us as believers. We must get to know sinners on a personal level. We must be willing to have conversations and spend time with them, and not always just invite them to church. Because sometimes it's always, sometimes all we do is like, hey, come to church. And we don't get to know them. And I've talked to some people about this, and they always say they feel like they're a project, that they're only just trying to get me converted, and that's all they really care about. They don't care about me as an individual, and people should feel like we care about them and also want to see them get saved. So real relationships and genuine conversations are what turn people to the Lord. When you're real and authentic with them, they know you care, not just about you inviting them to the church, but you care about their soul, and people care about, even if you disagree, they care when there's genuineness there. It is authentic faith in action. It is love through words and deeds, and that's what turns people to the Lord. Now, I do want to point out that we can love on sinners and not practice how they live. You can build relationships without condoning the sin in their life. For example, I've gotten to spend lots of time on athletic fields, and the language is not for the faint of heart. It's actually pretty awful. I will often have coaches apologize for cussing in front of me, but I always tell them, I want you to be your true self around me, not the version you think I want to see. I do this because I want to have open dialogue. They know I don't like it, but they also know I value them and where they are. And it has opened many conversations to present the gospel. So what's the application today? So I want to go back to that too, is that you can love on people who are living in sin, but not practice what they're doing or being in places that are going to compromise where you're at. You can, hey, let's go meet at a restaurant. We can go have coffee together or go do something, whatever else. You can play, play Frisbee or something, disc golf, whatever it is. You can build relationships that way. And you don't have to condone any actions they're doing. It doesn't mean you have to go to, a 5-alarm raging alcoholic party to try to witness somebody. That's not be the best place to do it anyway. But you can build relationships, get to know people outside and have dinner with them and spend time with them in a place where dialogue can truly happen and happen in a positive way. So what is the application today for us? It is to have conversations with sinners. That's the application. Do you have conversations with sinners? We can't share the gospel with anyone if we don't spend time with anyone outside of our circle of believers. And too many often, the church setting and church people only hang around people who think like they do. They're not challenged in any way and don't spend time with unbelievers. The only word of caution I have is that you must genuinely care about the person you're getting to know. They can't feel the only reason you're talking with them is to convert them to your belief system. So they can't feel like, hey, you're only doing this because you want me to get converted. And once I get converted, you're going to tune away from me. Relationships matter because you can disagree with someone and still value their soul. And there's people I disagree with vehemently on several things, but I value them as a person. I want to see God change their life, but I care about them first because my care about them will help lead to genuine conversations. So how do you treat sinners in your life? How does your church treat sinners? If the gospel is for everyone, then our hearts must be focused on sharing that love with those we disagree with, even on intense topics. Our mission is to share Jesus with everyone, not just the people that make us comfortable. So how you treat sinners, tells me how you view people. It just does. It tells me how you view people. So how would you be described by those who are unbelievers? How would people describe you and in your daily walk with unbelievers, the people you disagree with? It really does matter. And so how you treat sinners in your life tells me a lot about your evangelism style. It tells me about how you view things. Are you just over the top, like, turn or burn, you're going to go to hell if you don't do it immediately? Or are you willing to invest in somebody and get to know them on a personal level to find out what's going on so you can have a deeper conversation and grow in their faith? And so tomorrow, I hope that made sense today. Treat people with respect. Have deep gospel conversations, be willing to have conversations with anyone, even if you disagree with them. That's kind of a summation of today. So tomorrow we'll be in Luke chapter 21 to 22. Thank you for being with us today. Have a good day.